So greetings, welcome to this special podcast. It's brought to you by WhatPackaging magazine and IPMMI. Our guest joins us from Bengaluru. That's Ravi Kiran, who is the business director at Valco Melton. The group has significant presence in India for the past 15 years, and they are super specialists in advanced adhesive dispensing systems. So first and foremost, welcome Ravi Kiran. Curious to know what's transpiring with the inspection systems and especially with the advanced adhesive dispensing systems. I think my team met you during PrintPack and also during the 2024 show at PacMac. Trying to understand from you what kind of trends and trajectories you're seeing, what sort of CAGR, and what kind of anticipated growth rates are you anticipating for India?
Thank you, Ramu, for inviting to your podcast, and I'm really looking forward to answer all your questions. And let me answer your first question about inspection systems. As you mentioned in your introduction, Valco is a global company specialized in adhesive dispensing systems and quality inspection systems. So the adhesive and quality inspection systems industry in India set to grow at a CAGR of around 15%, the time period like 2030, if you consider, driven by the rise of demand for quality assurance system, automation, and especially the regulatory compliances in packaging. The pharmaceutical, food, beverages, and FMCG sectors are fueling this growth as
Right.
companies moving forward. The zero defect production and the traceability is also important. So they want to have enhanced traceabilities.
Yep.
The adoption of AI-driven inspection, and that is taking us to the next level, and need of export quality standards. These are all accelerating the trend and the growth in
Yep.
adhesive and inspection systems.
Right. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. One of the other things that emerged, this was of course PrintPack, and I talk of PrintPack merely because it was, a month ago, but approximately, there was conversation about 100 folding carton gluing systems. And of course, that becomes a good indicator for us to understand in what direction Valco Melton is going. I know you've been sowing many seeds with the group for the past decade or so. Trying to understand from you what is your hopes and aims and what kind of blueprint have you created in terms of a framework going forward, especially next 12 months.
Absolutely. We are very optimistic about achieving our goal of under folding carton gluing system.
Right.
Beyond that, Valco works with the entire packaging ecosystem, like folding carton, corrugated, end of the line packaging, or tapes and
Right.
labels.
Of
So,
course.
including the e-commerce business. So, we have
Yep.
our solutions. So, we are expanding and growing in every segment. So, one of the news I want to share with you, we are doubling our size of our production capabilities now. We are moving from our present place to the new place with a double the capacity. We are moving to a bigger space, and it is the proof that the kind of investments we are making for the kind of objectives we set up for ourselves. That is one. And again, the new product innovation plays an important role here. So the kind of products we brought it to the market, like our Eco Stitch, the
Right.
kind of product we mentioned that saves an adhesive up to 70%, and it helps the customers to achieve their sustainable goals. And
Hmm.
then we have products to reduce the waste and save the adhesive and boost the productivity, and especially the digital transformation, deploying AR and VR based operator trainings. And we have our clear vision inspection systems. We can access the customer's machine remotely, and help the customer when you want to have some data, or you want us to modify the settings, or if there is a breakdown, we can remotely access the machine and fix the machine. So we are adopting this kind of transformations, and we are very optimistic about our growth in 2025, especially the folding carton. Yes, you're right. We are sure that we're going to
Yeah.
sell 100 systems this year.
Sure, sure. So already I see two huge headlines. One is, of course, the doubling of your production. So this is going to be a greenfield project, or I mean, if you can just talk us through what and by when will we see the rollout? And the second is, of course, what you mentioned in terms of both the eco stitch and the zero defect systems. Yeah,
See, in 2015, we started our manufacturing of hot melt machines in India, and we
correct.
are the only manufacturing company who manufacture hot melt systems in India.
That's true.
And Valco is manufacturing in India, in the entire Asia. We don't have any other manufacturing facility in Asia. We
Yeah,
have manufacturing facilities in across Europe and US, but India is the only manufacturing facility across Asia. And we started in 2020, 2015, and we have a great demand in Indian market itself and the neighboring markets. As
of
you
course.
aware, I'm also handling the business of Southeast Asia and Middle
Yeah,
East market.
yeah,
So I have my subsidiaries in these countries in Southeast Asia and Middle East. We export these machines, and
yeah,
we are selling these machines to Valco Melton US and Spain from India. So the
right.
demand increased. So it is a time to expand our manufacturing capabilities, and especially the inventory capabilities. Our business has grown big, and it is a time to double our. By seeing the kind of projection what we are planning next 10 years,
Yep,
so we thought it is the time to increase our capabilities in terms of the warehouse and the manufacturing facility. And yeah, we are expanding. The new location is very close to our present location in Pina.
yep.
So it is double the size of what we have at this moment.
So more power to you. So I see four sort of takeaways. One is investments in Bangalore's products that are going to boost productivity, digital technology to sort of integrate with customers, at their factory sites, and of course the kind of quality assurance which you guarantee not just on the Indian subcontinent but neighbors. The other interesting thing that one discerns with you is, of course, you're dealing with brands and converters, but you're also having a sort of very solid partnership with the OEM, your OEM partners, so and their production lines. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have, I think, about nine major partnerships with the OEMs. So again, what is the top priority at Valco Melton when you're dealing with OEMs, and what is the nature of that, and how does that differ from, say, individual converters, etc.?
50% of the business revenue coming from the OEMs,
Got
from
it.
different OEMs. The mention, what you mentioned was nine from the recent Print Pack Expo. Valco Melton displayed our machines in different nine OEMs booths. So they
That's
displayed
true.
our machine, but
That's
we
true.
work with many OEMs. The
Okay.
OEMs starting from small OEMs to big OEMs who are contributing massive business to Valco Melton. Our top
Yeah.
priorities for OEMs are like enhancing machine efficiency,
Yep.
delivering high precision and speed of gluing and inspection. That is one priority. And next is reducing adhesive consumption. Some of the OEMs mention to their customers that this is one of the key point to their customers,
Yep.
that they can save
Yep.
adhesive up to 70% without compromising the bond strength. In fact, it can increase the bond strength. That is another important point, which is attracting the OEMs and showing interest for them to work with us. Then sustainability and automation. OEM seeks
Yep.
AI-driven, data-integrated solutions for waste reduction, that we are working, and OEM collaborations with strengthening partnership to co-develop intelligent solutions based on the requirement. Like
Got it.
Valco recently started working like a smart melt system. So we develop based on the requirements of the OEM. So these are our works and priorities. Considering we have a big stakes, big partnership with the OEMs,
Yeah, yeah.
So these are the focus areas for
Yep,
us.
yep. No, 70% is massive. I mean, it's very, very significant. Yeah. So well done. We've sort of concluded segment one. Now we quickly move on to segment two, where I'll ask you 10 questions. The idea is basically, looking at your own experience in the industry and sort of doing a kind of a comparative. Our aim with this segment is to, deep dive into what Valco Melton is doing and also get a sense of how the industry has evolved over the past decade or so. So the first one, you already alluded to this, but customers, and obviously you have a wide range of customers, but customers back then versus customers today. What's the
I will
sense
tell
you're getting?
you based on my 25 years of experience. So,
Yeah,
customers then and now, they focus on cost cutting and basic automation before, and today
yeah.
is demand for efficiency, AI driven automation, and sustainability. These are the demands today.
Yeah, got it. And also a certain fear of regulatory frameworks. I mean, because everybody seems to be keeping one eye on that sort of demon, as
Yeah,
it were. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And again, this is because this is something I know you and your technical team are very good at customer service. So, basic customer service back then, maybe 10 years ago, pre-COVID, as opposed to today.
See, it was very reactive issues fixed after breakdowns before. And now
Yeah,
today I see so much trend of proactive and predictive services. So I see this is a big difference actually. This is very
right.
positive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, something you spoken about advanced adhesive dispensing solutions then versus now. You've already spoken of the smart melt. You've spoken of EcoStitch. You also spoken of this 70% saving that we is possible. So again, a sense if you can give us the journey of Valco Melton 10 years ago to now.
See, it was manual or semi-automatic dispensing before. Today, so much of AI-driven precision applications with zero waste and with increased capabilities, high-speed lines today.
Right, right, right. And then hot melt then, and I would like you to sort of elaborate on this then. Hot melt then versus hot melt now, because I mean there are people tend to simplify this as a product line, but obviously there's a lot of technology behind it. There's a lot of science behind it, and there's obviously adhesives which have evolved. So
See, it was earlier, it should, the basic temperature controls, and you just need to dispense adhesive at the right place and right quantity. But today, more of smart systems with the real time monitoring, reducing energy by using, this technology by 40%, adhesive save, increasing the efficiency. These are the current trends.
right, right. And is there some sort of difficulty in a country like India where you have sort of, coastal lines in Western Maharashtra, Kerala, and such, as opposed to dry climates? I mean, does that sort of alter the way adhesive behaves? And then, of course, the challenges for gluing systems.
These are smart machines, based
Right,
on the whatever settings. These machines work with in extreme cold conditions, like the countries in Europe, the countries, the seasons in US, or
right,
we have many machines running in Saudi Arabia and
of
Dubai.
course.
So these are very smart machines. They can adapt any situation and work. That's not
Yeah.
a problem today.
Okay, okay. All right. Cold glue then versus cold glue now.
See, earlier it was slow settings and water-based adhesives. Basically, today is fast setting, the VOC free adhesives with a better fiber tear strength.
Right.
So I think there are so much evolution happening in terms of developing of new adhesives. So there is a big change in cold glue as well.
Right, right. And why has sort of India remained, more of a hot melt as opposed to cold glue? Is it only cost or there are other
It's not like
factors?
that. The applications are very different for cold glue
Correct.
and hot melt.
Right.
For the conversion, for in the converting lines, typically uses the cold glue. End of the line packaging, because of the line size and the kind of speed and demand they require.
Yep.
They normally use hot melt. Actually, the applications are very different for cold and hot melt.
Right. Right. And SKUs then versus SKUs now. And I know that there's a great stress on what you're doing in terms of your own supply chain at Pinia. So again, if you can sort of touch upon that.
Few SKUs manually managed before,
Yeah.
high SKU complexity today, but it requires automation. We need to manage the inventory, much in advance. So
Right.
that's the difference today.
Yep, yep. And how does this work in terms of forecasting? Because obviously we are talking of an industry with high growth, as you've sort of already mentioned, but also there is a degree of volatility with whatever is happening with the sort of economics and political sort of scenarios.
It always happens, but the advantage to Valco Melton, the machines what we manufacture used in wide industry range. Now, see,
Yep.
we work with the corrugation industry, the folding carton, the tapes and labels, the end of the line packaging, and more than packaging, we work with other segments like automotive,
Yep.
then woodworking, textile, different industries. But these
Of
machines
course.
are very same for many applications. So for
Hmm.
us, it is easy to manage because
Hmm.
one industry may not be doing so great, but other industry must be rising. So I think we are managing that way.
So you kind of stabilize. Yeah, that's great. All
Yeah,
right.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, something you've pointed out, but good automated manufacturing practices back then, and good automated manufacturing practices now. One is, of course, as you said, digital integration, AI. Yeah. So
See,
how
earlier more of manual compliance tracking, today of AI, IoT enabled process automations. So
right.
it's moving towards the direction.
Right, right. And how does this work? I mean, so you obviously have a department which is overseeing this, but is this something that is a sort of developed by Valco, or it's something that's third party outsourced? And how does the operation work? And the reason I'm asking is because many other organizations are hoping to replicate it, and since A, you've been successful in doing it, and B, the implementation has been flawless. If you can give us sort of little insight about how the execution was.
See, we have a global network. Valco is a US company. We are working in 90 countries globally. We
Correct.
have, various manufacturing units. We have software units, which all need to be integrated. We have, different softwares and, different integration systems working together to, integrate everything to automate the manufacturing practices. So it requires a lot of investment and the technology, the people behind it. um, we have been doing it, and every day there are some new things are coming up. We are adapting, we
Hmm.
are doing it, and especially as I mentioned, the AI and IoT enabled processes are just starting now. I mean, we are in the
Yeah.
process of adapting still.
Right. Got it. Got it. No, whatever you're doing obviously is working very well, and I'm sure the complaint ratio is also sort of dropped substantially. Yes. All right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Energy efficiency then versus energy efficiency now. This is again one of the boxes which you all tick. So, How has this evolved? The journey?
See, it was cost saving before. The focus is
Okay.
always on cost saving. Today, more of sustainability driven smart power management.
Yeah.
It is something, the approach is very different today.
Right, right, right. And again, you mentioned this cost of an inspection system, reduction of adhesives by 70%. So money savings then and versus money savings now. And again, what are the kind of conversations you're having with your customers and end customers?
Inspection was seen as an extra cost before,
Yeah,
because there was no demand from the brand owners or their customers. Today, since the demand from the brand owners is increased, see, the ROI driven automation is increasing so much. End of
yeah,
the day, instead of seeing what cost I'm investing today, they're seeing the ROI, because end of the day, this automation is going to bring you the savings at the end. So
Got
that
it.
is what they are looking. For example, this adhesive saving up to 70%. They will
Hmm.
see in a term if they calculate like 2 years or 1 year, the ROI they will achieve anyway. But it look
Yep.
like it's an investment today, but it was seen as an investment or a cost earlier. But now people are seeing this ROI driven data and taking the calls.
Got it. Got it. And what do you attribute this to? The fact that Valco Melton is sort of having a sort of these conversations, or greater enlightenment among customers in terms of being sensitized to these things, operating efficiency, operating costs, etc.
We conduct a lot of audits in different
Okay.
places.
Nice.
Maybe we conducted a brand owner site, we
Nice.
conducted a converter site, we conduct audit and we go with the data. So that will make the customers, decision process easy.
Nice.
If you go and talk and present, that won't work today. You need
Yep.
to
Yep.
you
Show
you
and
you
tell.
you need to go with the data, and
Yep. Yep.
data with their own data, not somebody's
Right.
data.
Yep.
That is what we do today. For example, as I mentioned, the eco stage which can save us 70% adhesive. We
Yep.
simply say, I don't talk anything today. Give us a time. I will fix this system in your line and let us observe for day, a couple of days or a week time, and you have the data before
Got
and
it.
data today. Then you can take a call.
Yep, yep. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, well done. Sustainability then versus sustainability now. One is, of course, what you do with your actual machines. One is also the process, and also the factory. The one that I have seen at Pina. I mean, it's a smart factory. So again, if how has sustainability evolved, and what kind of conversations are transpiring on that front?
See, sustainability then was more of recyclability concerns. Today is more of net zero carbon goals, biodegradable adhesives, and smart packaging trends. So much discussion going on. The big brands. If I see their vision for next 5 years, sustainability is one of the priority to them.
Yep.
So
Yep.
definitely it's very important today.
Right, right. And when you conduct these audits about which you spoke, of course, one is the whole operating part of it, the efficiency and the cost. Does sustainability also play a factor in that matrix?
Absolutely. When I save 70% adhesive, that is
Yeah,
helping customers to, achieve their sustainable goals. For example,
yep.
if I reduce usage of plastic like a pallet stabilization application of a carbonated drink, if I reduce the shrink wrap of using 10 rounds instead 5 rounds, if they can use, or removing the
Mm,
interlayer sheet, that's a big achievement in terms
yep,
of usage of plastic.
of
If
course.
I help a customer to reduce using the plastic packing material and help them to use paper as a plastic packing material, that's a great win to achieve their sustainable goals. So we
Yep,
have
yep.
been doing this.
Yes, yes. No, most wonderful. So well done. We are through with segment two. Now we move on to segment three, which is our, I mean, no Q&A concludes without this rapid fire. So we shall do our version of the rapid fire. It's called fast forward. And there are a few questions for you where we need sort of quick and snappy answers from you. So the first one, firstly, of course, are you ready? And the first one is trends for you, friends or foe?
See, definitely, friend, if we leverage well.
Right, right. Okay, all right, good. Growth, degrowth.
Definitely growth. Indian packaging industry is surging.
Right, super. All right. And what is the strategy that Valco Melton has now? Working with the top of the pyramid players, or also the middle and the bottom of the pyramid?
See, it is definitely we have to manage with everyone. So
Yep.
as I said, we work with top, we work with mid, we work with bottom. So
Okay.
definitely we manage all.
You manage all. And what is you keep your eye on as sort of boss at Valco Melton in India, and of course the other territories, top line or bottom line?
See, without bottom line, there is no meaning of top line.
Well said, well said. Okay. And business cycle, especially in these tumultuous times, your view. It's a marathon, it's a sprint, it's long term, it's short term.
Long-term focus, definitely.
Long-term focus. Lovely, lovely. And as CEO, because this is something that comes up quite often, micromanage your business or autopilot?
See, definitely it is we we you cannot adopt one method. You have
Yeah,
to follow everything. It's more of situational. Uh, Definitely, the power should go to the team, and when it times to take a decision, critical decisions, definitely you need to take a call.
got it, got it. All right, now a tricky one. What's of greater importance to you, smart packaging or end-of-line packaging?
Definitely,
What?
smart packaging.
Yeah, and but what is a greater challenge for you, smart packaging or end-of-line?
See, definitely smart packaging because we're all talking, we're all working towards that. It's a time we are all started working towards the direction.
Okay.
So we are in the beginning of this era. Definitely, we will learn more, we will explore more, we will do more in coming days.
Right, right. Reduce the shrink wrap or remove the interlayer sheet. What is again
About
a focus?
in terms of
Yeah,
sustainable way, removing interlayer sheet for sustainability, yes.
is crucial. Okay, and a top priority for you: solving barrier property in paper or unglued boxes.
Barrier properties.
Yeah, yeah. And what is the challenge? Because I mean, I know you have a sort of lengthy conversations with most of the major adhesive players because and this is something that keeps coming up in terms of migration, in terms of so many other factors. What is the challenge with barrier property usually?
See, different industries have got different processes. For example, if we want to convert the existing pouch packing line to
Yeah,
a paper, then what happens? You have to create a barrier property of a paper in the production line.
got
We
it.
had an idea of applying a hot melt adhesive on a paper so that that can create. But where
Nice.
to integrate? I mean, which place to integrate? This process is very complicated. It has to be done at the time of machine development. That is
Got
where we
it.
are talking to the OEM so that we can develop it in much before. When some brand owners approach us to integrate or provide a solution now on their existing lines, it is looking but bit tough today. We have challenges in terms of these kind of areas at this moment.
Yeah, got it, got it. And what is more important on the line, thermal image or vector image?
Thermal image for real-time defect systems, to
Right.
defect detection.
Okay, okay, all right. And again, one thing which is critical: pre-sales pitch or after-sales tech support. What is sort of
After sales tech support, definitely,
is yeah,
rather than it's important to capture the new business, but it is extremely important to maintain and serve your existing customers.
got it. And again, now a tricky one for you, which is your more favorite baby, which is Eco Stitch or the Smart Match system.
Eco stitch at the moment.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, that was the easy one. Yeah. Curious to know forecasting of orders. Is it quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, minute by minute? How
We
does
do
this?
monthly and quarterly.
Monthly and quarterly, yes. And what is important in India? Because I mean, obviously, you're working across territories, and I'm sure you're having conversations with your peers in other, nation states. But knowledge intensive or relationship intensive or just data intensive?
See, definitely knowledge intensive, but relationship build the trust. The trust
That's
is
true.
very important in business, but knowledge intensive is very important.
Yeah, yeah. And as you pointed out earlier, data is the key to the whole thing, right? Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Ravi, just again, want you to sort of scan your brain and a factory that you visited, other than, of course, your own, the Valco Melton factories, but a factory which you visited that made you say, wow, that, this is
See,
awesome or not.
I visited many facilities. Very difficult to pick up one, but let me pick one because recently I visited a facility of IMAPG in Mumbai.
Of
It was
course.
truly a state-of-art facility. I met their purchase engineering and product
Yeah.
team because we are selling our adhesive systems to them.
Yes.
It was incredibly impressed by their expertise and innovation-driven approach. They're
Hmm.
highly automated, well-structured operations. So they
Nice.
are more of forward-thinking, guys in the industry.
Yeah, yeah. No, so that's good. That's a good tip. That's one for me and my team to follow up. And again, curious to know where we'll meet you and your team next. Any show or conference where you'll be
We have
participating?
we have a show coming in April. That is Saudi
Okay.
Food Manufacturing Show in Riyadh.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
in April. So we are participating in the show.
Yeah.
So I will be visiting.
That and I suppose a lot of Indian expats will also be there. Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. All right. One final question for you in the sort of fast forward zone. A person with whom you from the industry with whom you would like to have something a conversation like this, the big interview. Anybody in our industry with whom you would like to have the big
Yeah,
interview?
yeah. I really look forward to see Mr. Govind Bandari's interview, CEO of
Of course.
ClearPack.
Yes.
He's the visionary behind the ClearPack and a
Yeah.
multinational company,
Yes.
driving automation in packaging innovations. So
Yes.
he's now it's a global packaging company.
Yeah.
So I think I'm very
Yeah.
interested to
Yeah.
see his
Yeah.
podcast.
Sure, sure. No, very, very good, Church, and we'll try to sort of fulfill your sort of wish
Thank
very
you.
soon. So wonderful. So we are done, Ravi Kiran. Thank you so much. Yes,
Thank
I
you, Ravi.
think we are. Yes, and so we are. That was Ravi Kiran, who is the business director at Valco Melton, who joined us from Bengaluru. This is more or less over and out from me in Mumbai, which is hot and sweltering right now. But before I go, just request all of you to subscribe, to do all the usual stuff on social media, so that you can be updated on future big interview series, plus a lot of the wonderful case studies and success stories that the team is filing and sharing with you. So thank you once again, Ravi Kiran. Over and out.
Thank you, Ramu. It was a great podcast, and please subscribe What Packaging.
Right. Thank you.